The war had lasted for years, but Private Daniel Carter never thought he would live long enough to see its strangest moment. Daniel was an ordinary human soldier, trained to fight in the harsh colonies at the edge of space. His unit had been scattered during a sudden alien ambush. Alone and cut off from his squad, he moved carefully through the smoking ruins of an abandoned outpost. The sky above burned orange from alien ships blocking the sun, and the ground shook with distant explosions. Daniel held his rifle close and tried not to breathe too loud. His mission was simple: survive, find his unit, and get back to the base. But destiny had other plans. As Daniel turned a corner, he stumbled into a massive chamber inside the alien fortress. He froze. The walls glowed faintly with strange blue veins like the place was alive, and in the center of the room stood a towering figure, the alien queen herself. Her body shimmered with metallic scales, and her crown-like head rose high above him. 6 glowing eyes fixed on Daniel with sharp curiosity. He expected her to strike him down at once, but instead, the queen tilted her head, almost studying him. Daniel's heart raced. He knew human weapons were weak against her. No soldier had ever faced the alien queen and lived to tell the tale. He raised his rifle anyway, finger tight on the trigger. Human. The queen's voice echoed in his mind, not through sound but through thought. It was calm, powerful, and strange. You are alone. Why do you fight? Daniel nearly dropped his rifle. She could speak directly into his head. He swallowed hard, unsure if answering was wise. But silence felt even more dangerous. I fight because I must, Daniel said slowly. Because my people have no choice. If we stop, we lose everything. The queen's eyes glowed brighter. She stepped closer, and Daniel's instinct screamed at him to run. Yet his legs stayed frozen. Her presence was overwhelming, but something about her tone was not purely hostile. You are different, she said. Other humans scream. They fire until death, but you speak. Daniel almost laughed. His knees shook, but somehow words came. I didn't think talking would keep me alive. To his surprise, the queen let out a sound like a low, rumbling echo. Was it laughter? He couldn't tell. Then the chamber doors burst open. A group of alien warriors stormed inside, their weapons aimed at Daniel. He spun and raised his rifle, knowing he couldn't take them all. But before he fired, the queen roared, a deep, resonant cry that shook the walls. The alien warriors stopped instantly. They bowed low, lowering their weapons. Daniel blinked, confused. The queen turned her eyes back to him. This human, she commanded in their alien tongue, is under my protection. Daniel's mouth fell open. Did he hear that right? Protection? The alien warriors looked unsettled, but obeyed. They backed away, leaving him untouched. The queen stepped closer until Daniel could see the shimmer of her scales up close. Her thoughts pressed into his mind again. You came to fight me. Instead, you showed courage. You will serve another purpose now. Daniel frowned, tightening his grip on his rifle. What purpose? The queen leaned down, her gaze sharp and heavy. You will become my champion. The words hit him harder than any blast. Champion? Him? He was just a soldier. Barely trained, barely surviving. The idea was absurd. I think you've got the wrong human, Daniel muttered. The queen's eyes glowed like burning stars. No, you are the right one. I have chosen. Before Daniel could protest further, the alien warriors surrounded him again, but this time, not as enemies. They moved respectfully, almost guarding him. Daniel realized something shocking. The alien queen had marked him as hers. Confused and overwhelmed, Daniel let them guide him deeper into the fortress. His heart pounded with every step. He didn't know what being her champion meant. Was it a trick, a test, or something worse? Yet one thing was certain. His life as an ordinary soldier had ended the moment he met the queen's gaze. And for reasons he could not understand, she had decided that one human among billions would stand at her side. Daniel Carter, a soldier who thought he would die nameless, had just become the champion of the most feared being in the galaxy. Daniel Carter never imagined he would be walking through the heart of an alien fortress without being shot. The long corridors glowed with blue and silver light, and alien guards lined the walls. Instead of aiming weapons at him, they bowed their heads when he passed. It felt strange, unreal, like a dream he could not wake from. The alien queen moved ahead of him, tall and graceful, her steps echoing across the chamber floor. She didn't need to speak aloud. Her thoughts pressed into his mind again. You do not understand why I chose you. Daniel kept his rifle close, though he no longer knew if it mattered. You're right. I don't. I'm just a soldier. I don't have power. I don't have influence. I don't even have good luck. The Queen stopped and looked back at him. Her 6 glowing eyes studied him like he was a puzzle. Power is not always in weapons or rank. Power is in the will to stand when others fall. You did not run from me. That is why you are different. Daniel frowned. He wanted to argue, but deep down he knew there was some truth. Most humans would have fired wildly or fled. He had spoken. Maybe that had saved his life. They entered a vast hall filled with alien banners, strange symbols, and warriors kneeling in silence. At the center was a raised platform, a throne made of black crystal that shimmered in the light. The Queen sat upon it, her massive form casting shadows across the room. She raised a clawed hand and the warriors bowed lower. This human, she declared in her own language, her voice booming, is my champion. The words rippled through the hall. Daniel couldn't understand the alien speech, but he felt the weight of her command. Dozens of glowing eyes turned to him. Some looked doubtful. Some looked angry. And a few looked fearful. Daniel shifted uncomfortably. He whispered under his breath, "What have you gotten yourself into, Carter?" The Queen spoke in his mind again. "You are my bridge, my voice to your kind, and my shield against those who would betray me." Daniel blinked. "Wait, betray you? You're the most feared being in the galaxy. Who would dare?" The Queen's gaze darkened. "Fear does not erase ambition. There are rivals even among my kind. Some whisper that I should fall. Already they doubt my choice of you." Daniel suddenly felt cold. He realized he wasn't just in danger from humans anymore. Now he was caught in alien politics he barely understood. One alien warrior, larger than the others, rose from his kneeling position and snarled in his own tongue. Daniel didn't know the words, but the tone was clear. Challenge. The Queen's voice filled Daniel's mind. "He does not accept you. Prove yourself." Daniel's stomach sank. "What do you mean, prove myself?" Before he could ask more, the warrior stepped onto the platform and threw down his weapon, a staff tipped with a glowing blade. He pointed at Daniel. The hall rumbled with approval. The meaning was clear. "It is a trial," the Queen explained. "If you are to be champion, you must fight." Daniel looked at the staff, then back at the Queen. "You can't be serious." "I'm a soldier, not some gladiator." Her eyes glowed brighter. "Do not fear. You are human. Show them why that matters." Daniel muttered a curse under his breath, but he stepped forward. His hands trembled as he picked up the alien weapon. It was heavy, strange, humming with energy. He barely had time to test its weight before the challenger lunged. The staff blades clashed, sparks flying. Daniel stumbled backward, barely blocking the strike. The alien warrior moved fast, trained for combat. Daniel was slower, clumsier. Each hit rattled his bones. The crowd roared, some cheering for his defeat. But Daniel had one thing his opponent didn't: unpredictability. Humans had a way of fighting dirty, adapting quickly, turning weakness into strength. When the alien swung hard, Daniel ducked low instead of blocking. The blade cut the air above his head. Using both hands, Daniel drove his shoulder into the alien's chest. The warrior staggered back, surprised by the sudden move. Daniel didn't let him recover. He spun the staff awkwardly, almost losing grip, but managed to strike the alien's leg. The warrior roared in pain and swung again, but Daniel twisted his body, letting the strike miss by inches. Then he slammed the butt of the staff into his opponent's stomach. The alien fell to his knees, gasping. Daniel raised the staff high, ready to finish, but hesitated. He wasn't a killer by choice. The Queen's voice filled his mind again, calm and steady. "End him or spare him. The choice is yours, but remember, all are watching." Daniel took a deep breath. Slowly, he lowered the weapon. He extended his hand instead of striking. The alien warrior stared at him, stunned. The hall went silent. After a long pause, the warrior grasped Daniel's hand and bowed his head. The Queen rose from her throne, her voice booming. "Behold, the human is not only strong, he is wise. He spares when others destroy. This is why he is champion." The hall erupted in roars, not all in agreement but bound by the Queen's command. Daniel's chest heaved with exhaustion. Sweat dripped down his forehead. He had survived, and somehow, he didn't know if it was skill, luck, or stubbornness, but he was still alive, and more than that, he had earned something unexpected: respect. Later, in a private chamber, the Queen spoke again. "You have shown them courage. Some will still doubt, but more will follow now. Daniel dropped into a chair, too tired to argue. I don't want to be anyone's champion. I just want to go home. The Queen leaned closer, her glowing eyes fixed on him. Home will not exist if this war continues. You are already part of something greater, whether you wish it or not. Daniel looked away, silent. He hated to admit it, but she was right. If the war kept burning, there would be no Earth, no colonies, no future. Somehow, against all odds, he was tied to the fate of the galaxy now. As he sat in that alien chamber, one thought haunted him. He was no longer fighting for survival. He was fighting for something far bigger, and whether he wanted it or not, he was the alien Queen's champion. Daniel Carter had been many things in his short life. A rookie soldier, a survivor, and now against his will, a champion. But nothing felt as heavy as the burden he carried now. The alien Queen had chosen him, and because of that, the fate of humans and aliens alike was changing. Weeks passed inside the alien fortress. Daniel trained with the strange weapons of the aliens, learned their customs, and watched how they looked at him. Some bowed with respect, others glared with hate. His presence was like a stone dropped in a pond, ripples spreading wider each day, but Daniel never forgot who he was. He was human, and humans had a way of turning the impossible into survival. One evening, as the twin moons rose above the alien city, the Queen called for him. Her throne room was quieter than usual, the banners dim in the soft glow. Her voice entered his mind, calm but heavy. The time has come. A council of my rivals gathers tomorrow. They believe I am weak because I chose you. They will test me, and they will test you. Daniel tightened his grip on his rifle. What do you mean, test me? The Queen's eyes glowed brighter. They will demand proof. You must stand against their chosen champion. Only then will they accept you as mine. Daniel's stomach turned. Another fight. Another trial. Except this time, the stakes were not just his life, but the fragile respect he had earned. If he failed, the Queen would lose power, and both her people and his could suffer. He swallowed hard. And if I lose? The Queen lowered her massive head until her eyes burned into his. Then we both lose. The next day, the great arena of the alien world roared with voices. Thousands filled the stands, their glowing eyes watching. The ground was a wide circle of polished stone marked with strange symbols. Daniel stood at one side, his heart pounding. At the other side, his opponent entered, a massive alien warrior taller than any Daniel had faced before. The crowd cheered, chanting his name. His armor shimmered with silver light, and his weapon was a double-bladed spear that hummed with energy. The Queen sat above them, watching from her throne. Her voice filled Daniel's mind one last time. Remember who you are. Fight as human. That is your strength, the horn sounded. The battle began. The alien warrior charged, spear spinning in deadly arcs. Daniel barely dodged the first strike, sparks flying as the blade scraped the stone. He rolled to the side, gripping his weapon, for a staff like before Imanin swung. The warrior blocked easily, countering with a strike so powerful that Daniel's arms shook. The crowd cheered louder. Daniel stumbled, almost falling. He wasn't as strong, not as fast. Every move reminded him of the truth. By their standards, he was weak. But humans had something else, something no alien understood. Daniel steadied his breathing and thought back to his training, his battles, his life on Earth. He remembered how humans always fought with whatever they had. Grit, courage, and stubbornness. They turned desperation into victory. The alien charged again. Daniel didn't meet him head-on this time. Instead, he dodged, sidestepped, and used the arena itself. He made the warrior chase him, forcing mistakes. Each time the spear came close, Daniel twisted away, sometimes barely surviving by inches. The alien grew frustrated, his strikes wilder. Daniel waited, looking for an opening. Finally it came. The warrior swung too wide, leaving his side exposed. Daniel lunged, slamming the staff into his opponent's ribs. The alien staggered, roaring in pain. The crowd gasped. Daniel pressed forward, striking again and again, his movements clumsy but relentless. The alien stumbled back, caught off guard by the sudden ferocity. Humans didn't fight with perfect style. They fought with everything they had. With one final strike, Daniel hooked the staff under the alien's legs and pulled hard. The warrior fell to the ground with a heavy crash. His weapon slid across the arena floor out of reach. The arena went silent. Thousands of eyes stared. Daniel stood over the fallen warrior, staff raised. He could end it. One strike and the fight would be his forever. But Daniel paused. His chest heaved, sweat dripping down his face. He thought of what the Queen had told him before. Strength was not always in destruction. Sometimes it was in mercy. Slowly, Daniel lowered the staff. He extended his hand. The alien warrior stared at him, breathing hard. After a long moment, he grasped Daniel's hand and rose to his feet. Then, to the shock of the crowd, he bowed. The arena erupted. Some cheered, some shouted in anger, but none could deny what they had seen. The human had won, not only with skill but with honor. Above them, the Queen rose from her throne, her voice booming across the arena. Behold, the human stands as champion, not because of strength alone, but because he shows mercy where others see only blood. This is why I chose him. This is why he is mine. The crowd thundered, the sound shaking the very ground. Daniel stood, exhausted, but a strange sense of pride filled his chest. He had not only survived, he had shown them what it meant to be human. Later, in the quiet of the throne chamber, the Queen spoke to him again. You have done what even I doubted. You stood before thousands and made them see. You are no longer only my champion. You are the bridge between our kinds. Daniel dropped into a chair, too tired to smile. I still don't know why you picked me. The Queen's eyes softened, glowing like stars. Because sometimes the smallest voice changes the loudest storm. You were not chosen by chance. You were chosen because you dared to be different. Daniel leaned back, staring at the ceiling. He thought of Earth, of his unit, of the war that had seemed endless. Now maybe there was a chance for peace. Because one human soldier had stood before an alien queen and refused to be just another enemy. He was Daniel Carter, a soldier who thought he would die nameless. Instead, he had become something greater, a champion, a bridge, a reminder to the galaxy that humanity was not to be underestimated, and though the future was uncertain, one truth remained clear. Humans were stronger than anyone had ever believed.